Hey, when I say my block, say my block. My block. My hood. My city. My block. My hood. My city. As a kid, I always wanted to be a public speaker. Always, right? That's all I ever wanted to do. I gave my first speech at 4. And I remember watching VHS tapes. Y'all remember VHS, don't y'all? I used to look at speakers, and I used to stare into the eyes of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he delivered his final speech. And it was entitled, "I've Been to the Mountaintop." And if y'all remember, about 2 minutes left to go in that speech, Dr. King, he looked over in the crowd and he said, "I seen the promised land," right? And I can't say it like he said, but you know how Dr. King, he had that swag. "I seen the promised land" is what he said, right? And that was so inspiring the way he held on to that word "seen." I was like, "Dad, I want to be like that, Dad. I want to be like him. I want to be cool like Dr. King," right? And so I watched that speech 100 times, man. Each time I stared into his eyes. I stared into his eyes and I wanted to know, had Dr. King really seen this place called the Promised Land, or did he make that up? Was that a metaphor he made up for this great speech, right? So I watched it and I watched it and I watched it, and no matter how many times I watched it, I left convinced that Dr. King had not only seen the Promised Land, but he had been to the mountaintop too, right? Hey, that's what I loved about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was a leader that had vision, man. A lot of leaders don't got no vision. They don't. Dr. King, he can see things other people couldn't see, right? Hey, you gotta know where you're going if you're gonna get people to follow you. But you gotta have a clear vision if you're gonna get people to serve.
So today, there's a lot going on this half of the DMV. People will be witnessing the press conference and ceremony for MLK. And on the other side of the DMV, there'll be a drive-through where volunteers to come through, pick up a couple PPE kits, and also get the senior addresses and drop them off throughout the city. I know things may be scary, you might be discouraged from getting involved because of COVID, but there's always a way to do it safely and to give it back. Or you can always start your own initiative throughout the city. It doesn't take much, just grab some people, think of an idea, and just do it.
It's really important to keep MLK's spirit in mind, a spirit of service and justice and reform. And it's really great for all communities to be coming together to do that today in the city.
We need to embody what his dream was. And I feel like with M3, we are doing just that. And then with the community members who are volunteering, they are just helping us along the way. So I definitely appreciate all the help that we get.
As we celebrate Dr. King Day today, I want us to stay true to our vision as a city. They say we're the most segregated city in the country, man. That's embarrassing. We gotta have a better vision for a more interconnected Chicago. I don't care what color, gender, religion, opinion, ethnicity, occupation, man. We gotta come together as a city. What's happening in Uptown should matter if I live downtown. What's happening on 95th should matter if you live on 35th, man. It's 77 communities, but only one Chicago. And really, man, we want y'all to come out. And Leon, come on, let me see this real quick. We want to commemorate this bridge today. This is thanks to everybody that supports my block, my hood, my city. Thanks to Gloria at the Rosemore Association. Thanks to the staff at my block. We putting this plaque on the bridge. Y'all already see the quote on the bridge. One side of the quote says, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." But this is commemorating the bridge and celebrating the Rosemore Association, who've been putting in that work for years on top of years, man. Shout out to the Rosemore Association. Thank y'all for coming out, man. Let's continue to serve and honor Dr. King. Let's continue to pass out PPE to seniors. We love y'all. Let's go out by saying, my block, my hood, my city, my block, my hood, my city. Hey, thank y'all for coming out, man. Appreciate y'all.